ready for fantasy hoops. Step into the arena, RCMP plus. It's not luck, it's logic. Bang, that's a powerbomb move right there. Light it up, big fella. Woo, that's Fantasy Hardwood. Buckets, baby. Ain't no rivalry like an RCMP rivalry. From stats to smack talk, where trash talk meets true talk. It's not just fantasy, it's legacy.
Welcome to the first edition of Fantasy Hardwood Network. Before we dive into the 2025-26 season, let's rewind the tape. Last year, the Hardwood gave us everything. Upsets, heartbreaks, rebrands, and one team proving once again they're the kings of the jungle.
Tommy, it all started with the regular season. The Powerbombers dominated again, best record in the league, top overall seed for the second straight year. Over in the East, 2 balls, 1 hoop lit it up, snagging the conference's top seed and looking like serious title contenders.
But then came the storylines, PG. The Pinguinis were an offensive machine, leading the league in points per game, but their playoff bracket was cruel. First round, they ran into their old nemesis, the King Cobra. And just like the year before, the Cobras slammed the door.
And don't forget, the GOAT started the season battered by injuries, clawed their way into the postseason with some big signings. But round 1, they ran into the animatronics, who we now know as the Z Tigers. That was the start of something special.
Exactly. The animatronics went on a tier beat, the GOAT, stunned the Powerbombers in the semis, and marched all the way to the finals.
Meanwhile, King Cobra was on their own warpath. They handled the Pinguinis in the first round, then squared off with 2 balls, 1 hoop in the semis. That series had fireworks, but in the end, the Cobras slithered through to their second straight finals.
And that set up a showdown, animatronics versus King Cobra. The underdog versus the reigning champ. The animatronics fought hard, but the Cobras were too much. Cold-blooded, precise, deadly. King Cobra took the crown and locked in their second straight championship.
So, to sum it up, King Cobra, champions, again. Animatronics, the surprise finals run, now rebranded as the Z Tigers. Powerbombers, dominant in the regular season, but another playoff disappointment. 2 balls, 1 hoop. Eastern powerhouse, but couldn't get past the champs. Pinguinis, high scoring, but haunted by the Cobras. GOAT, fought back from injuries but bounced early. And the rest? Alphas aged out, Padfoot toes collapsed down the stretch, Ballers hit rock bottom with injuries.
It was a season of chaos, but one truth held steady. If you want the title, you've got to go through King Cobra.
And this season, Tommy, we've got 2 new challengers, Dunkin' Donuts and Notre Dame time, plus old rivals reloaded and ready for payback.
Which means the road to the crown is more dangerous than ever.
Stick with us. Coming up next, we break down the contenders, the pretenders, and who's got the best shot at the throne in 2025-26.
Welcome back, everybody. You're tuned in to the Fantasy Hardwood Network. I'm Tommy Douglas, alongside PG-13. And folks, the 2025-26 fantasy basketball season is about to tip off. Last year was wild, but this year, oh man, it's shaping up to be even crazier.
Tommy, we've got Dynasties, redemption arcs, 2 brand new expansion squads, and rivalries that are already starting to feel like legends. This is why I love this league.
We've got to start at the top. The King Cobra, back-to-back champions. They're cold-blooded, calculated, and they've proven they can win when it matters most.
And they didn't just win last year. They ran through the Pinguinis in the first round, took out 2 balls, 1 hoop in the semis, and then slammed the door on the animatronics, now the Z Tigers in the finals. That's a statement. They're the measuring stick until somebody knocks them off.
Then there's the Powerbombers. 2 years straight as the top overall seed. Nobody puts up wins like they do in the regular season.
But postseason, different story. Last year, they got stunned in the semis by the animatronics. The year before, same thing. regular season monster, playoff flameout. If they don't finally break through, people are going to start calling them the Paperbombers.
Speaking of the animatronics, or should I say, the Z-Tigers, they went through a rebrand, and they went through just about everybody in last year's playoffs.
That was an incredible run. They beat the GOAT in round 1, shocked the Powerbombers in the semis, and pushed all the way to the finals before falling to King Cobra. If you're looking for a team ready to take the next step, the Z-Tigers are right there.
Now here's a team that just can't escape the Cobras, the Pinguinis. 2 years ago, they lost to them in the finals. Last year, after leading the league in scoring, they drew the Cobras in round 1 and got bounced again.
That's gotta sting, Tommy. But don't forget, this team has rebranded a couple of times, and every version of the Pinguinis has been dangerous. If they avoid King Cobra early, they're a legit title contender.
Now, 2 balls, 1 hoop. They were the top seed in the East last year, second overall behind the Powerbombers. They looked like a powerhouse.
Until they ran into guess who? King Cobra in the semis. Still, you can't ignore the regular season they had. If they tighten up in crunch time, they're a scary out.
And here come the expansion teams, starting with the Dunkin Donuts. Fun, colorful, and already a fan favorite.
This team's bringing the sugar, Tommy. We'll see if they bring the spice too. Could be a year 1 playoff dark horse.
And joining them, Notre Dame time. They've got that college program, energy, tradition, and toughness.
They may be new, but they've got confidence. I could see them pulling off some upsets early.
The Alphas had a rough one last year. Veteran squad, aging core, and it showed.
Yeah, they didn't have the legs to keep up. If they don't get younger and faster, this season might be another uphill climb.
How about Padfoot Toes? Early last season, they were the feel-good story 2nd seed by January.
And then the bottom fell out. Big losing streak, missed the playoffs entirely. But don't sleep on them. If they can recapture that early form, they'll be in the mix.
Now let's talk about the Guardians. PG, last season was rough for this team.
Rough is putting it politely. They were bottom of the barrel injuries, bad trades, nothing clicked. But here's the thing. The Guardians have history, pride, and a fan base that won't accept another disaster. If they can stay healthy, they've got the pieces to surprise some folks. But if not, they'll just keep living up to the nickname fans gave them last year, the Guardrails. Because all they did was keep other teams from crashing on the way to the playoffs.
The Ballers. Let's be real. They were the bottom of the league last year.
Injuries killed them. Heavy roster, but nobody stayed healthy. If they can keep their stars on the floor, they could climb back, but that's a big if.
And last but not least, the GOAT. Rough start last year with injuries, but they rallied late. Signed some big names. Made the playoffs.
Only to get knocked out by the animatronics. Still, don't count them out. If they're new core gels, they're a threat to anyone.
All right, folks. We've previewed the teams. But let's be real, every season is defined by rivalries. This league has more bad blood than a wrestling promo, and this year's matchups are about to get personal.
Tommy, let's start with the Powerbombers and the Guardians. This is one of those rivalries that looks lopsided on paper. Guardians have never beaten the Powerbombers in the regular season.
Never. And don't forget, one of those games came down to a single point. You know that still haunts the Guardians' locker room. Every time they face off, it's a chance for the Guardians to finally break through.
And if they ever do, you might see the biggest celebration of the season.
Now here's one with some spice, King Cobra and the Ballers.
Pure trash talk, Tommy. Pure trash talk. These two squads love jawing at each other. And the best part? They've both backed it up. Each side grabbed a win last year.
It's not just about wins and losses with these two. It's about bragging rights. And you better believe the memes will be flying after every matchup.
Then you've got the family feud, the Pinguinis versus the Alphas.
Father versus son. Every clash between these two feels personal, like it's more than just basketball.
And the games are always competitive. Doesn't matter what the standings say when Alphas and Pinguinis meet, sparks fly.
Of course. The rivalry that always looms over the season East versus West. In the East, you've got the likes of Two Balls, One Hoop, King Cobras, GOAT, Guardians, Padfoot Toes, and the newcomers Dunkin Donuts.
And in the West, Z Tigers, Powerbombers, Pinguinis, Ballers, Alphas, and Notre Dame time. Every interdivision matchup feels like a playoff preview.
And don't sleep on division games. Those are the ones that shape playoff seeding, and the rivalries inside each division, that's where grudges are born.
So whether it's dynasties clashing, family ties on the line, or just plain old trash talk, these rivalries are what make the fantasy hardwood season electric.
Couldn't have said it better. Circle those matchups on your calendar, folks, because when these teams collide, it's more than a game.
All right, Tommy, prediction time. I'm going bold. I've got the Z Tigers taking it all. They've got the youth, the momentum, and after last year's finals run, they know what it takes. This is their year.
I like that pick, PG, but I'm sticking with the champs. King Cobra until proven otherwise. But if the bracket breaks right, don't sleep on the Pinguinis. They're overdue for revenge.
No matter how it shakes out, this season is going to be a blast.
That's a wrap for episode 1. We've got dynasties, rivalries, and new blood ready to shake the league. The season's about to begin, and we'll be here every step of the way.
And don't forget, folks, circle the date. The fantasy basketball draft is locked in for October 11th. That's where the rosters are built, legends are made, and the season truly begins.
We'll be back right after draft night to break it all down, every big pick, every surprise move, and which teams set themselves up for glory.
Draft night is the first battle, and the war for the 2025-26 crown starts there. You don't want to miss it.